Okay, so this is Morton Joe 245 here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. Okay, so today, instead of looking at a action figure specifically, what we're actually going to do today is take a look at a vehicle. And I actually have two. This is before I get into that. This is the Polar Battle Bear, which was which was first available in 1983, which I think was also available in 1984, and then it got discontinued in 1985, where it was replaced with the Snowcat, I believe, what it's called. But now I have two Polar Battle Bears, and I'll show you the other one in a minute. It's not exactly the same thing. I mean, it's mostly identical, but there's one key difference. But we'll get into that here in a minute or so. But let's take a close look at the Polar Battle Bear itself. Okay, so now the Polar Battle Bear didn't come with a driver, but the one figure that is associated with the Polar Battle Bear the most is Snow Job. I'm about to say Frostbite. Snow Job here, and so I'll use Snow Job to, as an example on how you position him inside the Polar Battle Bear. So since I've already done a review on Snow Job, let's get him out of the way and get to the Polar Battle Bear itself. And so we're going to start with the front of the vehicle here. As you can see, there is a sticker here with a bear and a sword going through, which I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I can find a reference for it. I'll put a description on what it is. But as you can see, this thing sticking out right here. You might be wondering what this is. This is how you move your cannons. As you can see, you can position them. Which this a lot of times you find it can be broke. So I would be kind of careful with that. And I do actually have two extra of these cannons in some of my parts. And see these missiles right here kind of just come off, and these missiles are often missing as well. There's some stickers on them too, which I think they're supposed to say danger, but it's kind of fading and wore out because toys were meant to be played with back in the day. This other one, unfortunately, one of the fins is cracked and warped. But you can see the stickers on this one are a little bit better condition. But I guess you could say this is like finger flick technology, but I don't think this has worked. Yeah. But to me, they're more for looks, like as they say, fashion over function. Because the way these sit on here, it's hard to flick them off. So go ahead forward. On each side, we have a thing that says United States. And whoever had this before me positioned the stickers on a little, not straight. This one's up farther than the other one, but not everybody's gonna get it perfect. It just happens. And this skis right here too, as well, kind of like on a ball joint. And this can also be broke too a lot of times because it's kind of thin. So I'd be careful with that. It does rotate, so you can kind of turn the vehicle, which actually it don't turn the vehicle. It just turns for play, I guess. And as you can see, here's your controls. As you can see, it's got all kinds of buttons and dials, your handles, where your figure would hold on to. There's also some detail inside there. I don't know if you can see. But I can't tell exactly what that's supposed to be in there. But as you can see, now this right here, if you wonder what this is a roll bar. And this can be removed. And this is also another frequently missing part. And what a roll bar is, or a ROPS bar is, rollover protection system, which basically what that means is if you were to be flying down ice on this thing, and if you hit like a rock or something, you flip this over. This is supposed to keep the this from killing you when it flips. But because if you didn't have this on here, it would go down farther and kill you. But the problem with that is, if you would take a figure that's in there crooked, let me get that straightened. There we go. Take Snow Job for instance, put him in, and if you were to flip this over with Snow Job in it, his head is still going to hit the ground. So Snow Job is going to have a pretty bad day if he crashes in this thing. A rollover protection bar is supposed to be taller than the person riding in the vehicle. So they didn't get that too right. But see, there's more stickers on here. It says caution. There's like a serial number, aid kit, which there's actually no aid kit on this, but that'd been kind of cool. And which I think there's the same stickers on the side of here. Well, hazard, where oil, your tools. There's a 54 on this right here. Now, before we get into this, I'm gonna talk about the tracks here. Now, these treads are not actually movable treads. There's like a wheel inside of this that makes the vehicle roll, and which is pretty cool. I mean, if you had actual tracks, that'd been cool. I think they did actually come out with working tracks on some vehicles. I think like the Mobat had working tracks, but I wish they could have done that with this. That'd been kind of cool. And there is a tow hitch on here where you can tow other vehicles. That was common on early G.I. Joe vehicles. So there's also foot pegs where you can take a figure and place its foot on the pegs, which for some early figures, I'd be careful with that because you could crack the heel in the back. Now, this thing right here is a cover for the engine, which you can unpeg. You can see there's two pegs that go in there. It's like some kind of number. So you move that off the side, and here is the engine for the Polar Battle Bear. And as you can see, it's like a basic kind of engine. There's your valve covers. I think that's your air filter and your carburetor right there. Is where you fill the oil into the engine, and that right there is probably your radiator cap, I would imagine. I don't see where the oil dipstick would be to check the oil in this, but which you probably had to put some pretty thick oil weight in something like this because being in the cold weather, if you'd put something like 10W30, it would probably freeze it solid in there and crack the block or something. So that wouldn't be a very good idea. But as you can see, there's some like manifolds and for the exhaust and stuff. They added some pretty good detail on here. That's one thing I liked about these early G.I. Joe vehicles. You could have movable compartments for the way to access the engine and stuff. So you can have like your figures working on the engine, so that'd be cool. I forgot to mention there's like a headlight thing right here, and it says G.I. Joe right there. So now how Snow Joe would go in, usually his legs would go in like so. If I can get his feet to go in there, and he put his hands on the handlebars there, which is a little bit tricky sometimes because his hands don't want to go around it very good. There you go. And see, he wants to kind of float above the seat there, but as you can see, that's how he would look inside the vehicle, which looks pretty cool actually. Okay, so the all vehicles in G.I. Joe usually came with blueprint instructions for the vehicle itself. They pointed out things of the vehicle. Like me bring the Polar Bear back over here for reference. As you can see, number one pointing to here is synchronized twin 55mm cannons, which would be these on the front here. Number two, the torsion bar front suspension, which would be just down in here probably. Let's see, the number three, would be these heat-seeking missiles. Number four, gotta find it. Let's see, number four is this right here, which would be fiberglass upper shroud. Which making something like this out of fiberglass is not a good idea because fiberglass is brittle and gonna get splintered like a lot of old John Deere like hoods from the 70s were made out of fiberglass, and you find a lot of times cracked and broken. Fiberglass is not a very good material to make a vehicle out of, or parts of it. Okay, but getting back to the point, number five, which I've got to find what's pointing at to on here. Where is number five at? Oh, there it is. Number five is body controlled lounge style seat, which is the seat I have a Snow Job sitting on there. So number six is rear deck hand grips, which is probably, see, yeah, it would be on this roll bar right here. I was thinking these, but it's the roll bar ones. I just found it. Okay, so number seven is the engine cover right here, as you can see. The eight, the roll bar, which is too short and wouldn't do any good. See, number nine, independent suspended floating buggy system. Which, see, number nine, it would be, let's see, where is that? Oh, it'd be, this, track and stuff right here. Number nine would be the tow hook, which is, this on the end here. I mean, number 10 is the tow, not number 9. 11, high-speed polycarbonate skis, which skis is obviously the skis of the vehicle there. As you can see, it's worth 11.2. Okay, 12, Polar Battle Bear insignia, which is probably this right here. And see, 12. Yep, that's what it is. See, number 13, battle-proof acrylic windshield, which would be this right here. Number 14, steering throttle controls, which is obviously what Snowjob's holding on to right there. 15, analog instrument cluster. So 15, let's see, 15, where is, there it is. So yeah, that would be, oh, I lost the missile there. Be all this stuff right here would be the analog instrument cluster. Okay, number 16, primary firing controls. So let's see, 16. So that's the firing controls right there, and that'd be the analog cluster on the other end over there. So number 17, fire extinguishing system. So 17 would be somewhere right here. It shows like a fire extinguisher on the side, which is actually, as you can see right there between Snowjob. I don't know if you can see that right there. That's your fire extinguisher system. Just pop the missile off again. So I don't think these missiles, they're easy to fall off. Okay, so 18, emergency cutout switch. So 18, yeah, it would be there on the other side right there. Let's see. 18. Yeah, so that's this part right here is the emergency cutout switch. Probably should have took Snowjob out of the way. Okay, so 19, 160 HP rear-mounted V6 engine, which is under the cover here. So that's your V6 engine. Could have had a V8. Okay, so number 20, rear battle deck capacity 2, which is obviously this right here. Okay, so number 21, quartz halogen headlamp, which is this right here, and see front stabilizer bar. So this right here is your stabilizer bar. Okay, so since we just went through all that stuff, flip to the other side. So the other side's got instructions for you to actually assemble this thing, because it had minor assembly required when we bought this new. See, it's kind of yellowed where it's been folded, and as you can see, it shows Snowjob actually piloting this thing, even though it didn't come with a figure. Okay, so if you remember at the beginning of this video, I said I have another Polar Battle Bear, and I'm not gonna go over all the details again because I just went over it with this one, and it's the same thing, just a slight difference. And which I was if you remember in my Snowjob review, I was actually missing a part, and I finally got that part, so I could do this review properly. So as I'm talking about here, I have the second one, which you might notice difference right away. This one I reviewed right here is the standard US version, whereas this Polar Battle Bear is a foreign Canadian release. As you see, it says Canada with a Canadian flag on the side instead of the normal United States one. But other than that, everything else is basically the same. Now, you remember in my Snowjob review, I was missing this roll bar, so like I said, I finally got the roll bars so I could do this review properly, so I could have like almost a 1-for-1. And but that's not it exactly. So let me move these off to the side here. Make sure I get the right ones. Okay, so you may be wondering, I just showed you this, but as you can see, this is the Canadian version. And you think, that maybe you may be thinking this is the only thing making it different, but it's actually not. If you turn this around to the other side, this part's in English, but if you turn this around to the other side, this side is in French. And the reason that is because Canadians, some Canadians speak English and some Canadians speak French. So back in the day, multiple languages wasn't very common on U.S. stuff. But like I said, in Canada, you have English and French speaking Canadians. So that's why. And so you can see, just like on the other one, this is the back where you have the instructions put together. This is the English. Turn around this way. This part is in French. So it's pretty cool. You got an extra part to the blueprints on this one you didn't have on the standard US version. Which I'm not gonna go through all this again because I did with the US version. Okay, so for the media appearances of the Polar Battle Bear, the Polar Battle Bear was featured in the G.I. Joe comic book as well as the Sunbow animated series. Which in the Sunbow animated series, it depicted there was multiple polar battle bears, not just one. So Snowjob wouldn't be the only driver of the polar battle bear because he wouldn't be able to drive a bunch of polar battle bears at once. Be only one individual. So there's always other individuals using them as well. They were probably supplied by the U.S. military, I would assume. So what do I think of the polar battle bear overall? I really like this vehicle, and I don't think these are too expensive. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a little difficult to find them complete because there's some parts on here that are often lost and sometimes that are kind of stressed and broken places. But I mean, it's not won't be too bad to complete. I mean, I don't have a whole ton of pieces like some other vehicles, but when you have the Canadian one too, you could kind of act like you have like your Canadian version of GI Joe. It's kind of like the October Guard was like the Russian like GI Joe, so you can kind of have like a Canadian version. But even though it still says GI Joe on the top of the windshield there, but still pretty cool to have a foreign release. Here in the U.S. we don't foreign releases are a little harder to come by. But so if you like this review and you want to see more, give me a thumbs up, help me out a lot, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Till next time.